Hi. In last video, we have seen how we can develop the edit user profile functionality. In this video, we are going to see how we can add the create task functionality. So let's start. But before going to start, please like and subscribe my channel. Yeah, let's start. So basically, what is this create task functionality? This create task functionality is nothing but I want to create one page where I can take the inputs from the user regarding the task. For example, task detail, task description, task title, and what is the reward when the person solve that particular task, what is the due date for that task, what is the creation date of that task, who is the person who has created that task. So basically this kind of things I want to be stored. So as I told you, if we are going to store anything, we require the table, and table is nothing but the model only in the Django. So first we have to create the model. Second, we have to register that model in the admin.py file. After that, as I told you, I want to create one form where I can take the user input. So for that, we need one form. And to render that form, we need one HTML page. And at last, we need view function and URL. So this is the hierarchy of the requirement, the VS Code here. As I told you, first I want table. And table is nothing but the models only in the Django. So let's start. Class. Model is nothing but the Python class only. Then we have to define the name of the class. So this is related to the task details. So give the name, for example, task, then details, task details. Then we have to inherit this ordinary class with the models.model class. Then only it will become the model. So simply copy this entire things and paste here. Then colon, then come down. Then here, this task detail is nothing but the table name, or you can see model name. And whatever at column name we want, we have to define here. So as I told you, I want, for example, task title. So give the name task. And for example, all the things I want in capital, task underscore title equals to, then task title, like, then we have to define the like data type for this one. So we know title is nothing but the char field only. So for that only models, one second, models dot char field, char field. Then we have to specify the max length. So max length you can give as per your requirement. So in my case, I'm giving 100. Then what next I want? So next I want task created by task underscore created by. So task created by also I'm considering it should be a char field only. So simply copy this one and it will paste here. Then task closed by, task closed by. Then again, let me one sec here. Same. Then what next I require? So task created by, task closed by, task created on. This task created on is nothing but give the date when the task is created. So for that, task created on, created on. And this task created on is nothing but the date field. So because of that only models dot date, date field. Then next I want task due date, task underscore due date. And this should also date one only. So simply copy this one and let me paste here. Then task reward, like how much reward the person will get after solving this task. And basically, see, don't be confused. Like I have given name like help desk ticket system, and I'm giving like a task. So basically, what kind of project we are doing? Uh, Anyone can raise one task. Anyone can solve that task, and after solving that task, he will receive some reward. Such kind of application we are developing. So keep in mind. Otherwise, you will get confused. So task reward, reward, task reward, and this should be, for example, else models dot integer field. Next, I want a task closed on. For example, if you see here, we have one field task created on. Similarly, I want task closed on. Simply copy this entire thing and let me paste here and let me change task closed on. Closed on. This field will give the date when the task is closed. Then I want task description, task underscore description equals to models dot char field. Then, for example, I'm giving max length 300. So what are the fields I have? Task title, task created by, task closed by, task created on, task closed on, task due date, task reward, task description. Then I want task holder, task holder. And this should also, this one only, simply let me copy this entire thing and let you paste here. Task holder. Then I need one more field, which is task status, task underscore status equals to, then let me copy the same thing because this one also going to be character field only. Yeah, control S. See, like this task created by, task closed by, task created on, task closed on. These are the fields which is, it is not a good practice to ask the user to enter this detail. But just for the understanding purpose, initially I'm going to take all this field from the user. And once we are able to create the task, I will make necessary changes and I will explain what are the fields you have to take from there and what are the fields you have to not take from the user. So time being, don't worry, just follow the whatever things I'm doing. So up to this we are done. So these are the fields which is I want. So simply control S, and we have created the model successfully. So our model name, and model name is nothing but the table name only, and these are nothing but the columns of the table. So after creating the model, our next step to register our model in the admin page. So control S, then go to the admin page. And here we have to register our model. So if you remember, in the case of user profile, we have already did registration of the user profile user profile model. Now the same approach we have to follow for the task detail model also. So as I told you in my many videos, if you are going to use anything which is present in another file, then first you have to import that one. So I want to import that model. So this is my model. Simply copy and come here and first import. And one more thing, come here. Don't forget to mention the comments. It's a good practice to mention comment or write comment. Control S, then come here. Let me close unnecessary things. Yeah. So in admin, I have to register my model. So what is the syntax? First, we have to create one class. So create one class. Then you have to give name to this class. So if you remember, for user profile admin, we have created user profile admin. So I'm going to follow the same approach for task details. Simply copy this one and simply copy this one. See, you can give any name as per your requirement, but only for the naming convention, I'm doing like this. Then copy these things. I'm going to paste here. Then whatever column you want to display in admin page, that all the column name you have to mention here. Simply copy this one, come down, and you have to list down all the column name. So what is the column name we have? So if you come here, these are nothing but the column name. Simply copy this entire things and come here, simply paste here. And from here, you can choose one by one and write here whatever column name you want to display. So for example, and all the things you have to write inside the single code. So simply copy this one, task title, then comma, then again, then comma, comma, comma. Give me 1 minute and let me finish this thing. Yeah. Now one by one, let me copy and paste here. 1 second. Reward, reward, then task description, then task holder, then task status. I don't want these things, so let me remove. Yeah, and let me remove these things also. So whatever things you want to display, you have to write inside this square bracket. And this is the syntax to register. Simply copy this entire things and come here. Make sure this should be outside of the class. Yeah, admin.site.register. Here you have to mention the model name. So this is my model. Simply copy this one. And here you have to mention the admin class name. Simply copy this one and paste here. That's it. Control S. And if you remember, in many videos I'm saying each and every model have by default one field which is ID. Either you are mentioning or not, ID is there, and ID is the primary key for all the model. So if you simply write here in single quote ID, so it will not give any error. You cannot think like in models you didn't mention any ID, so you cannot use here. No, ID is the column which is always given by Django for each and every model. So you can write here. And this ID is nothing but the number only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 kind of. So control S. So here we have created the models, which is nothing but task detail, and we have registered this model in the admin page here. And here little bit changes I have did. Previously the model's name is the task details. At the last there is a S, but I have already during the test, during the learning time, during the testing, I have already created the same name model. So I was getting some error. So because of that only, I have removed the S, or you can say I have renamed the model name. And the same thing I have did here also. Here also I have removed the S, and here also. Control S. So as I told you, we have created the models. We have registered that model in the admin page. So the next step, we have to run two more important commands, python manage.py make migration and python manage.py migrate command. So the make migration is the command to generate the SQL query or generate the migration, and the python manage.py migrate is the command to apply that migration. So open the command prompt, and here, as I told you, the command is python manage.py make migration. This is the command to generate the SQL query. So here you can say create model task detail. To apply this migration, we have a command python manage.py migrate. And at last, we have to run our Django server. To run our Django server, we have a command python manage.py run server. So the next, I'm going to open the admin page, and there I'm going to show you the table details, whatever we have created in the VS Code. So come here, then click here, see. If you click here, add task detail. So whatever fields we have given there that are showing here, like task title, task created by. So for example, I'm doing task title, add function. Then for example, task created by Durgesh. Then task closed by, for example, Rama. Then task created on, for example, 14, and task closed on, for example, 15. Then task due also, for example, 16. Then task reward, for example, 20 coin. Then task description, for example, I want add function in Python. Then task folder, for example, Rama only, and task status, for example, closed. Let me save. Yeah, see. ID showing, then task title is add function, then task created by, task closed by, task created on. All the details are showing here. So basically right now we are taking this input from the admin page, but it is not a good practice. We have to create one page where we can ask user to enter these details. So the next, I'm going to develop the form to take the input from the user. So go to the VS Code, and here inside the forms.py file, see here, I want to create one form. And one more thing, 1 second. Yeah, let me copy this. I forgot to add comment. So first let me add comment for this admin. Control S. Now then come to forms.py file. As I told you, I want to create one form, and with the help of this form, I'm going to take the input from the user. Before in this form, I'm going to use the models. So first I need to import that model. So comma, and importing this model from models. So come here and simply copy the name of the model. So this is the name of the model, and paste here. That's it. So what is the syntax to create the form? Simply class. Form is also nothing but the class only, Python class. So here we have to give the name to our form class. So I'm giving the name task detail form. Then we have to inherit this one from forms.model form class. Simply copy and paste here. Then come down. Then we have to list down all the fields which is we want to display over the form, and user can see and can pass the value for that particular field. So what are the fields we have? So if you come here in the models.py file, these are the fields we have. Simply copy this entire thing and come here. And based on your requirement, choose the field which you want to display there. So for example, this task title I want to display, and I don't want to display this task created by and task closed by. because I don't want to give option to user to enter the data for this one. Then task created on and task closed on also I don't want to show. Then task due date. Yeah, this one I want to display to the user. Then task reward also, task description also, task holder I don't want to show. So these are the fields which is I want to display to the user over the HTML page. And we have to do little bit changes, like if we are creating the form, so we have to follow this syntax. Title, description and status is nothing but the care field. So simply copy this one and come here and replace here. Same do for the status also, then for description also. And we have to do little bit changes. For example, the label should be description. Then this one should be status. Then title. And for this one, here forms. Control S. So these are the fields which is I want to display over the page. And for this, I want to take the input from the users. And for this one here, I want to pass, for example, label also. Label task due date. Or simply, let me do a little bit modification. For example, this one, task title, then this one, task description, and this one, task status. Now it's looking good. And simply copy this entire thing and paste here. And here, task reward. Task reward. And this one, task due date. Control S. Then we have to create the meta class. If you copy this entire thing and paste here. And here we have to specify the model name. So for this particular form, we are using the model, this one, task details. So simply copy this one and come here and paste here. And here we have to list all the fields which is we want to show. Simply remove this entire things and copy the things from here. Then copy this one. Then task reward. Then task description. Then task status. Control S. So this is how we can create the form. So what are the fields we want to display over the form? So we want to display task title, task due date, task reward, task description, and task status. These are the fields which is we want to display over the browser, or you can say in the form. And these are the inputs we want from the user. So after creating the form, we have to create one HTML page where we can render this form. And we are going to render this form with the help of the view. So you can first create HTML page, then create view. It's up to you as per your requirement or your understanding. So first let me save Control S. So the next I'm going to create the view for this particular task creation. functionality. So go to use.py file, come here. And one more thing, first let me add comment for this one. Hash task form. Login form, registration form, user creation form, task form. Okay. Then go to the views.py file. Let me add one comment. Example task creation form. Then come down. Then here I want to create one function. So we have to use the def keyword. Def is the keyword to create the function. Then function name. So for example, I'm giving function name task detail only. Then here I need to specify request. Then come down. Then if the user is authenticated, this condition I want to add. So simply copy this one and paste here. And try to maintain the indentation. So if you see one line is showing here. So I'm touching here this one. So I'm adding the condition if the request.user.is authenticated and if request.method equals to post, then take one variable form equals to, then what is our form name? So if you come here, this is our form name. So copy simply this one and come to the views.py file and paste here. Then I want to capture whatever data I have that in particular request. So request.post. And as I told you, if we are using something from another file, so we have to import that one. So for example, this task detail form we are using from the forms.py file. So first we have to import this one. So come here and look for the forms. Yeah. So just like other, we have to import this one also. Done. Then come down. So if the request.method equals to post, so form equals to task detail form, and whatever data I have in that particular request, I am storing in the form. After that, if form, the same thing we have did previously also, I will show you, see this one. If form is valid, simply copy this entire thing and follow the indentation. If the form is valid, then form.save. So this is the condition when the request.method equals to post. After saving, I want to display one message. So to display the message, what we can do, simply copy this line and come here and paste here. What message I want to display? So I want to display like task created successfully. And after creating the task, I want to redirect to the home page. So this is the URL name to redirect to the home page. Simply copy this one and paste here. So this code will execute when the if condition is true. Else simply copy this line. And as I told you, if it is a post, then I want to capture the data, whatever data is coming in the post request. But else means it is not a post. So no need to pass this one. Simply come here. So this is going to be store the blank form. And I want to render to one HTML page. So simply copy this one and paste here. So return render request and where I want to render. So here we have to give the HTML page name where we want to render. So as I told you, this is a task detail. So I'm giving the same name. Simply copy this one and paste here. And if the request is not authenticated, means this line. Simply copy this line and paste here. So I'm done with my view function. So I'm repeating again what we are doing. See, if the request dot method is authenticated and if the request dot method equal to post, so I have taken I have taken one variable form. You can take any variable name here. Then this is task detail form, which is nothing but the name of the our form. And whatever data I have that in particular request, I'm storing with the help of this request dot post in the form. And if the form is valid, I'm simply saving that form and displaying one message, task created successfully, and redirecting to the home page. Else, when the request is not a post, so I'm simply uh, storing the blank object of that form, and this form is nothing but our form, which is we have created in the form.py file. And here I'm not passing any request.post because it is a not a post. So I'm storing the a blank form, and after that I'm returning redirecting to the task detail.html page. And what I'm redirecting or sending this blank form to this particular page. And if the request dot method is not authenticated, then then this else block will execute. Like you must have to log in to create task. So let me change this one. Control S. So as I told you, we have to create this HTML page and we have to render the particular form, this form in that particular HTML page. So 1 second, let me copy this name. Let me copy this name. Then come to in templates. Then right click, new file, then paste. Then this is the new HTML page. So we have to inherit our base pages. So simply what you can do, copy any HTML page, because in each and every HTML page we have inherited. So let me remove unwanted. And in place of the login page, this should be task creation page. Task creation page. And this is form. This form is nothing but this one. Let me show you. See this one. If you are writing here, for example, XYZ, so you have to write the same thing here also, XYZ. So whatever things you have written there, the same thing you have to written here also. Then here, same as it is, but in place of the login, I want submit. And I don't want this forget one. So let me remove this one, Control S. And one more thing, in update user profile, we have did one mistake. So come here. Yeah, this one. I forgot to change this one. So this should be user profile page, Control S. I was forgot at that time. So you also change this one. So come here. Yeah. Task creation page, and this is coming. Okay. Control S. So we have created the view, we have created the HTML page, we have created the form, we have created the model, we have registered that model. Now at last we have to create one URL. So simply go to the urls.py file, come here, then copy anyone. For example, I'm copying this one, then paste here. Then let me change as per my requirement. So this is I'm creating the task. So I'm giving name, for example, task detail only. Simply come task detail. Then copy the same name. Then give here also. And here we have to specify this one, our view name. So this is our view. Simply copy and come here and paste here. Control S. But we have to add this URL with the new bar. So let me show you where I want to add. Come here. First, let me go to the front end. Login with, for example, Durgesh. Okay. Now, so let me log in with admin user. Yeah. So for example, I want to add here, like I want to add one option here, create task. And there, when I'm clicking that create task, that particular form should be open and there I can enter the data. So how we can do? So go to the VS Code and in VS Code, you go to the new bar. So where is the new bar? 1 second. Yeah, here. So what you can do, and after the drop down, I want, or you can, or after register only I can add. So 1 second. Where is the register? This one. Simply copy this one. It will paste this one and change this one. Create task, control as. Then go to the urls.py file and you have to link this name here. That's it. Control as. Then come here. Let me refresh. The CSRF token from post incorrect. No issue. Come here. Go to the task detail form. Yeah. Control S. If you do hard refresh, Control C, then this one. Yeah. And come here. See, create task option is showing here. And after clicking on create task, that task title, task due date, task reward, task description, these things is coming. But it's not coming in a proper format. So don't worry, come here. Yeah. So task title and task due date, task reward, these things is coming in proper format. But let me add task title. For example, I'm adding. Then task due date, for example, I'm giving this one. Then task reward, for example, I'm giving 20. Then task description, let it be anything. Then task status, for example, I'm giving open. Then let me click submit. See here you are getting error, not a null constraint failed. Task created on. This is one of the fields which is we have added in the our table. If you see our model, see this task created on. This is the field which is we have added and we are getting error just because of this fields. So what error I'm getting? See, am I getting error? Not a null constraint field. See, I'm not passing any data for this particular field. So because of that only I'm getting error. So what if I want to bypass this one, what I have to do? Come here and here null equals to true. I have to do Control S. Then, and one more thing I forgot to tell you, if you are doing any changes in the model, then you have to run the python manage.py make migration command and migrate command. So come here, simply Control C and 1 second. See, it's showing alter the field task created on. Then I have to run one more command, migrate. Basically, this make migration command is going to create the SQL query, and this migrate command is going to execute that particular SQL query. Then come here. Then let me refresh this one. Once again, it's loading. Sorry, I forgot to run the Django server. Yeah, then come here. Let me refresh this one. See, now this time I'm getting error for the task closed on. The same issue. Because for this also, I'm not going to pass any data. If you see here, come null not allowed. So whatever fields we are not going to pass here, for that we have to define the null equals to true. So come here, and what you have to do, simply copy this one and paste here also. Then task holder also we are not going to pass any data. So for that also we have to write null equals to true. Then let me check one by one. For this one also. And for this one also. Don't be confused. You will get clear idea when once I will complete this one. I will explain one by one. Then again we have to run that two magical command, which is python manage.py make migration. Then migrate. Then run server. Then come here. Let me refresh this one. Yeah. Click on submit. Reverse for home not found. Home is not a valid view function or pattern name. No issue. Come here in the views.py file. Yeah. So for home we are getting error. Let me check this URL why we are getting error. Okay. Sorry. I have did one little bit mistake. Not a problem. Come here. So if you come here, you go back. So it's a base page only. Okay, I'm referring the home page, base page as a home page only. So I have did one little bit mistake. So come here and go to the urls.py file and copy this one. Then come back in the views function. Yeah. Then here in place of home, I want to write base. And for here also we have did one mistake for the change password. I have did same mistake. So here also base only, control S. Then come here. Let me create one, submit. Task created successfully. And after creating the task, it is redirecting to the base page. But where is the proof, like whether task is created or not, how we can check? So let me go to the admin page. There we can see whether this data is added or not. See, testing. Then this I want to create. This data is showing here, but few details are missing, like task created by, task closed by, task created on, task closed on, and the task holder. This data is missing. So why I have not allowed the user to enter the data in the form only? Let me explain you the scenario. 1 second. See, after clicking on create task, okay, after clicking on create task, so who is going to be create the task? The person who has login, he only going to be create a task. So it is a very nonsense things if you are going to ask the same person to enter his own name like in the task created by. So it's a very stupid things. So we are going to fix that data, like task created by, we are going to fetch internally by with the help of the login detail, like who is the whatever person or user is logged in. So we are going to be consider that person is nothing but the task creator. There are remaining few fields. Let me show you. Yeah. Then task closed by. See, again, just like task created by, we have to capture this task closed by field also. Like we are going to provide one option, like person is going to click on close task, and whatever person is logged in at that time and clicked on task closed button. So we are going to capture his username in the place of the task closed by. So this is also we are going to be handled internally. We are not going to ask the user. Then task created on means when task is created. So whenever we are going to click on submit button, if you see here, submit when someone is clicking on submit button, so whatever the time at that time or date, so that date is going to be considered as the task created on date. So that field also we are not going to ask the user. That field also we are going to handle in programming level. Then come here, then task holder. So task holder also the same thing. The person who have our received or accepted our task in his bucket. So that user ID we are going to be update in the place of the task holder. So just because of that only I have not written these things here, because here these things are enough, like task title, task due date, task reward, task description, task status. Remaining thing I'm going to capture in the programming level automatically. Not automatically, we have to do some programming for that also. And one more thing I forgot to tell you. See, when the user is login, then no need to display the login option and register option. When the user is log out, then only login and register option should display. So I want to hide this one. When the user is login, I don't want to show the login and register option. So how I can do? Go to the VS Code. Go to the notebar.html page here. And what I want to do, 1 second. Yeah. Here. One second. Let me copy this to Control X, then come down. Paste here. And what I want to do, 1 second, let me tell you. Take one curly bracket to here, this one. Simply copy this entire line. Then come to the neobar.html page and simply write here, paste here. So if the request.user is authenticated, I want to display create task, then this show profile, change password and logout. Else, simply take curly bracket, then here take this one, then else. Else I want to display the login and register page. Simply Control S, then come here. Let me refresh. If block, oh sorry, I forgot to end the if block. Control S, then come here. Let me refresh. Yeah, so user is logged in, so it's showing home, create task and drop down. If I click on logout, then it's showing login, register, but home is still showing. So let me check 1 second. Where is the home? 1 second. Home. Yeah. Simply copy this one. Control X. Then paste here. Control S. Let me refresh. Yeah. Login, register. When I'm clicking on login, I'm on login page. Then when I'm clicking on register, I'm on register page. And if I'm login, for example, 1 second, then I'm coming to this base page and it's showing home, create task and drop down. And don't be confused, this base page I'm referring as the home page only. So please keep in mind. So create task. Let me create one task, for example, testing 3. And for example, here also I'm giving testing 3, submit. Task created successfully. Let me check here in admin, testing 3C. So we are able to, so what we have did in this particular video, we have created one task form. We are able to take the input from the user and we are able to save that input in the database. But there are few fields which is we are not going to be captured on the create task page, such as task created by, task closed by, task created on, task closed on, task folder. So these are the fields which is we are going to be captured through the logic or program. We are not going to ask user to enter this. So go to the VS Code, and in VS Code go to the views.py file here. So here we have to write little bit logic to capture the fields which is we are not capturing in the form. For example, task created by and task created on. So these two fields are very easy. So I'm trying to write the logic for this one. Then come down. Here I want to add the task created by details. So how we can do? See, here directly what we are doing form.save directly, but I don't want to save directly. First, I want to commit equals to false. With the help of this one, we are restricting the like save. We are saving it, but partially, not finally. And all the fields I'm storing in the task variable. Then simply copy this one and come down, and whatever fields I want to be, for whatever fields I want to be add the data, that one I need to write here. So as I told you, I want to do for this one, task created by. So simply copy this one, then come to the views.py file, then write here equals to. Then here you have to pass the value or data. So for example, I want to pass the username which is login at that particular session. So in the Django, there is a very beautiful command, request.user, which is going to be give you current username. So request.user. So with the help of this request.user, you will get the current user which is login at that time. And after that, I want to save. You simply copy this one, simply copy this one and paste here, dot save. That's it. Control S. Come here. Then let me log in first. Admin. Then password also admin. Then create task. For example, I'm creating task testing 33. Then date. Then reward. For example, 34. Description. For example, testing 33. Then task open. Submit. Task created successfully. It will check whether the task created by data is coming or not. So go to the admin page, then come here, see. Task created by admin is showing. So this is how I can capture the task created by ID or username. If you come here, I want to show you one more thing. If you come here, there is one more field, task created on. So this task created on, this field also we can capture with the help of the code only. We no need to ask the user, because if you ask the user to enter the task when the task is created, you can add any date. So it is not a good practice. So that task created on also we are going to capture automatically. So how we can do? So for that we have to add one attribute. 1 second, let me show you. This auto now added true. So with the help of this attribute, whenever task is created, let me show you 1 second. And one more thing, here we have did changes in the models.py file. So we have to run that two magical command, which is make migration, then migrate then run server and come here. So whenever, let me show you, 1 second, admin, then admin, create task. Whenever user going to be click on submit, the date will capture. So let me do 1 second. For example, 34 submit. Task created successfully. Let me see whether the date is capturing for this one or not. Come here. See, 34 date is captured May 17, 2024. So task created by we are able to capture. Task created on we are able to capture. Then what is the pending? Task closed by, task closed on, and task holder. So don't worry, once we will develop one by one all the features. We will capture the details for this one also. Like when we will add the like close button functionality. Then from there we will capture the closed on and closed back data. And when we will add the accept functionality, then we will take the data for the task holder also. There is one more thing I want to show you. See, for this it's showing admin. Let me create one more user first of all. Come here, Control C, then Python manage.py, create super user. Create super user. For example, I'm giving name for this user, Dugu. Then email ID option, skip. Then password also Dugu. Then again, then click on Y. Yeah, let me run this one. See, previously whatever the task we have created with the help of the admin user ID. Now I have created one more user which is Dugu. So let me try with the Dugu user ID. So come here, go to the login page, and first let me log in with the Dugu ID. So I'm able to log in with the Dugu. Then come here, then click here. Then for example, this 35 and this one also 35. Then submit. Now let me check what user ID showing there. Come here. Yeah, see, Dugu is showing. It means if the new user is login and new if different user is going to be login and going to be create the task. So as per the login details, this task created by column will be update. There is a one little bit changes we need to do. If you come here, 1 second. If you come here, after clicking on create task, for the task status, I want to add the drop down. I don't want to add this text field. I want to show the drop down like open, closed, expire, this kind of things. And one more thing, whenever any task is going to be created, so at the initial stage, by default, it's going to be open only. So the task status field also I don't want to display here. For this one, I want to be from the code only. So let's see how we can do. So come here inside the VS Code. If you see here for the task status, I'm using the care field. So come here. I don't want to use the care field. So simply what you can do, you can create one choice. And equals to, then in the square bracket, the drop down value, whatever you want to display. So for example, I want to display open for this one, then comma, then I want to display closed. Then open, close, then reopen. open, close, reopen, then expired. Then resolve. And what we have to do next? Here we have one attribute, choice. To whatever name we have given here, the same name we have to paste here. That's it. Even I don't want to display this task status field here. When here, I don't want to display here. So what I can do, come here, and here only I can add one more field, comma, default equals to open. Control S. Then go to the forms.py file, and from here also, let me remove these things because I don't want to show. So I have to remove from here also. Control S. Then I need to run that two magical command. Make migration, then migrate, then run. Then come here, let me refresh, see. That option is not coming, that task status. And if I'm creating anyone, for example, 36, this one also 36. And if I'm clicking on submit, task created successfully. And if I go to the admin page, here you can see it's showing task 36 Dugu. Then task created on it showing, task created by also it's showing. And status is also showing open. We have not entered that status, but still it's showing open because what we have did, if you see here, we have added by default, it should be open. So because of that only it's showing there. So I hope I'm clear with these things, like how we can ask user to create the task. In the next video, we are going to see like whatever data we are seeing here in admin page, we are going to see in the our page only. No need to come again and again to the admin page. So thank you so much for watching this video, and please like and subscribe my channel. Bye.